here's the clicker. And here's the clicker.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. We're moving over eastbound from Georgetown to Dupont Circle. We're much different situation. So this is the bid boundary for Dupont Circle. We had about 14 blissful months of existence before we were hit with the pandemic. So our gradual ramp up took a crazy turn March of 2020. And as with everyone else, it became survival. But we were very much aided by the fact that Dupont Circle is a traditional neighborhood. It's a mixed use neighborhood. We have a lot of residential. We have some residential in the bid, but we're surrounded by residential. And that was key throughout the pandemic because everyone who was working from home was working in their Dupont Circle apartments and still coming to a lot of the coffee shops to get their sustenance. So we're also surrounded by embassies, think tanks, and nonprofit organizations, including universities. We have some key areas in the bid, Dupont Circle, which is run by the National Park Service, and Dupont Underground. These are areas that don't traditionally get as much attention as they do, but the bid has been focusing really closely on them and working with the organizations to make sure that we can elevate what really are the main gathering places and the points of interest. We are going through a period now where pre-pandemic Class C buildings were kind of a bummer. Today, they're great because they're more marketable for office or hotel to residential conversions. And as of now, we have approximately 800 units that are going to be converted from office to residential within the next 2 years. And most importantly, the transformational project that's coming online is the Dupont Plaza and Streetscape. The city is going to be decking over Connecticut Avenue from just north of Dupont Circle to Q Street. So that entire block, building facade to building facade will be one level. Pavers will be put in. It will be slower traffic. There will still be buses going through for this, at least in the beginning, but it will essentially become a pedestrian area. My goal is to eventually get vehicles out of this one block and it would be completely pedestrianized. So it's a little bit dark, but I really love this slide. It kind of encapsulates our 4 core areas: place management, placemaking, economic development, and safety and security. You have the metro, you have the bike and micro mobility stations, you have the people, infrastructure investments. The canopy that was just put over the Dupont Circle North Metro entrance was a $5.5 million investment. And it's truly a piece of art. It's been complete. The lighting on it and in it is absolutely gorgeous. But during this construction, we took the opportunity to support local artists. And so we did rotating murals, and you can see 2 of them here. One was by local artist Trap Bob, another by Chris Pirate. It's the essence of Dupont Circle. You see our banners there, and this is around the holiday season. Our streetlights are decorated and dressed up for the holiday. So as we were getting vaccinated and coming slowly out of the pandemic, we needed to look at our programming. Some of it didn't even exist at the time because, like I said, we weren't able to throw any events, and we only had 1 summer of events then in our existence. So we came up with Art Walk Dupont. This was something that had been started actually by our Main Street counterpart, Historic Dupont Circle Main Streets. It was getting a little bit too much, and Bill, the executive director, was veering into other areas. So we had a discussion, and I offered to take it over so that we can build upon it and make it larger and really make it a draw. So the first thing I did was move it from a Friday to a Thursday. After the pandemic, our weekend foot traffic was in decent shape. We were growing to where we had been, but our weekday evening traffic or foot traffic was still rather low. So pulling in these art enthusiasts into the neighborhood on a Thursday would help us extend that weekend period and get more foot traffic. It did in fact increase foot traffic. And in August, we got a note from the Phillips collection that is part of our art walk. They had a full four-fold increase in attendance during that August Thursday art walk. And to be honest, one of the reasons that we chose Thursday was because they already had a big event. So we kind of piggybacked on people who were already coming and grew that. We also started a brand new farmers market. Everyone knows the Sunday farmers market. And now in Dupont, people think that that's what year one of a farmers market looks like. Well, it's 25 years old and it's truly amazing. And it has a regional draw. But we wanted something for during the week, especially for the residents who were staying in their neighborhood more frequently. So we tied in a Thursday weekday market with our art walk. The Thursday market is weekly and it's seasonal at this point, but on those Thursdays that they overlap with the art walk, we have people coming to the market who are then going to the art galleries who weren't necessarily doing that prior. Most important to me was not just the galleries. A couple of them are actually in the bid boundary. A number of them are immediately adjacent to the bid boundary. We wanted to keep them happy and welcome any gallery that wanted to join us. But I really wanted to have a connection with the business. So we've been working with a lot of businesses to create space and let artists come in. So now artists can go to our website, fill out an artist interest form. We will contact them and connect them with a business. So far, there are 3 businesses that have been doing this with us. And I should say this program just started in May. Just this week alone, we had conversations with 3 additional businesses who are interested in also participating. So pulling it just from an art walk with the galleries to a full neighborhood business event is a direction that we want to go in, and it looks like we're heading there. This was the most recent activation that we had. It was the Rorschach Theater doing spooky readings for October. It was a very cool event. And personally, what I like about this is people know about it. People come specifically for the galleries, but having activations like this, it draws in people who are just walking through the neighborhood and they're very surprised by it. And they say to us, we never expected this. This is why we live in the city, because they like to come upon unexpected events. So that's been very successful for us. Our metrics are going in the right direction. We had some issues with the farmers market and the farmers. Staffing issues prevented some of the farmers from being there. June was a particularly bad month, but we relocated from Mass Ave to Hillier Place, and that happens to be right across from Q Street Park, which is where we locate the bid table and all of our informational materials. And so it was much better starting in July. Attendance increased in August and September, and now we're waiting to hear for October numbers. And then it will go on hiatus until next spring when we open the seasonal market again. This is the opening of the Thursday farmers market. We really try to make a big deal out of it to get people to come out. The other thing that I should mention is that a lot of this couldn't have happened without the participation of the city through the Streets for People grant. That was key to allowing us to take something and make it so much bigger. So the activation staffing for this, we are a $1.2 million bid, and there's myself, another full-time employee, and then we have wonderful contractors who work with us. But we're a small organization. So any additional grant funding that can help to support us is absolutely key to our growth. This is an example. We have this map on our website, and our website could click on and automatically get in, but it also has a list of businesses on our website. So people understand there's a connection here. So go to dinner, then go to the galleries. We found wayfinding and signage was key. So that's part of our activation. This is Chalk Art. They're an awesome organization to work with. Streeteries. So Joe got into this a little bit. This is our streetery on the 1600 block of 20th Street in front of MIHHN and Zorba's. We all know the streeteries were amazing. We're still going to them. It's looking like they're going to be permanent. We couldn't be happier about it. But I wanted to highlight Dupont Circul was the first bid to get the streeteries. So after the first weekend when the streeters were opened, I contacted the businesses and I was like, just give it to me. Tell me what you think. Is this a good thing? Just from Thursday through Saturday night, The next week, people were able to rehire staff that they had laid off. The second bullet point is crazy to me. Each restaurant had customers until closing time. That was huge. This was right after the pandemic. People weren't even going out. And for these restaurants to be hosting people until, and then asking them to leave at closing time was really crazy at the time. You have to remember where we were coming from. One of the biggest comments was, what about masks? And people were wearing their masks. I love this because it's just about the time, that snapshot of time that we were in. And it really does show how integral new innovations from the city were, and then the bids being able to implement them. All restaurants saw a dramatic increase in revenue just in that weekend alone, and they knew it was going to be a big deal and a game changer. Finally, not to talk about just the great things, we also experienced an increase of homelessness, and the perception of crime became an issue in our bid when we were talking to our members. So last October, we contracted with a homeless outreach provider, the H3 Project. This is the team here. They're in the neighborhood 5 days a week for a few hours a day. Since they've been here, 5 individuals have housing vouchers, and 5 individuals were reunited with family members in various parts of the country, but also one in Italy. It's been really successful, and it's been nice to tell our members that we are invested in this. Your tax that you're paying is going directly into the neighborhood to improve these services and build upon what the city is doing. And the man on the right is Eric Brocksmith. He is our safety ambassador. We created a safety program. We decided not to go in the direction of the off-duty police officers. We wanted someone who kind of provided a friendly face, could have conversations. So Eric goes around the neighborhoods every month. He has to have 3 check-ins with each business. So they know what's going on. He distributes material. He has a very good working relationship with MPD. They work very closely together. And I get calls from MPD telling me about things that Eric did to help them. And then Eric is very helpful in terms of also like pointing out hotspots. He sends a report every night, so we know when we're talking with MPD where we need to potentially shift resources. So these have been exciting programs, and we are continue them. These are basically have become fundamental programs for the bid as well. So that's it, a little bit about the Dupont Circle.
Great, thanks, Kelly.